DJ. Hello and welcome in everyone. Welcome to another episode of Join Your Light Stream video podcast with the Healing Circle with B.Nicole, aka Brittany. Today we're going to be discussing how to stop being a people pleaser. So if you're catching this live stream here on Twitch, thank you for being here. Please feel free to contribute in the chat. Share your thoughts, opinions, agreements, disagreements. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, this is going to play like a podcast, so don't feel pressured or don't feel like you need to watch the video, which is going to be us speaking. Scoot over, DJ. Scoot over. Nope. Pick up your chair and scoot it over. Nope. Stand up.
Yep, so no pressure to watch. Just going to be...
Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead, B.
Just to be, something you can listen to on your drive or at work when you're trying to tune out your coworkers, anything of that sort. So, like she said, today we're going to be talking about how to not be a people pleaser. We're also going to talk about what people pleasing look like, okay? Characteristics of a people pleaser. How to overcome your need to please, and reminders for a people pleaser to, because we that's not what life is about. We're not here to please everyone. So, ouch. First thing is, what do people pleasing look like? What do people pleasing look like to you?
You want me to share?
Yeah, sure.
So, people pleasing looks like going against things that you want to do or don't want to do just for the sake of being liked or for someone to perceive you as kind or for someone to compliment you, for someone to have some sort of superficial connection, but in your body you either do want to do something or you don't want to do something. You're going against that.
Mm-hmm.
How about
like
you,
just saying yes to any and everybody because you want to be their friend or you want them to like you want to feel accepted, right?
Right.
And like keeping how you truly feel, like I see what do it look like to me is like when you hold stuff in just because you're afraid of them thinking that you're selfish. That's a big one. Like I don't want to say how I truly feel or do what I really want to do, because what if they think, oh my gosh, she's so selfish, like she only think about herself, so we do things that we know other people want us to do instead of doing what we really truly want to do.
Right.
And then we have some kind of resentment after it, like you can feel it in your gut, like I really don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I want them to like me. I want to fit in.
Yep.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. And when I think back, it really starts with, especially with us women and girls, it starts with us being really young and our parents and family members saying things like, you being mean isn't ladylike, or you speaking that way, that's not the way a lady would say that, or from the things that we say to the way that we say to the way that we sit. I mean, there's a whole culture around how little girls are supposed to talk and supposed to behave, and it not only drives us to be people pleasers, but it also drives us to not be the best at enforcing and upholding our boundaries, because everyone around us wants us to just bend to their will and their beliefs and their ideals, based on what they grew up with and the conversations that their parents had with them and their aunts and uncles, the kind of, what's it called? I guess you could say perceptions that were pushed on them, and then it gets pushed on our children or us, and it's difficult.
Yeah, I'm so glad I had a boy, because growing up, my grandma, she used to believe in girls had to wear stockings with their dresses. We couldn't whistle, but meanwhile, like one thing I thought wasn't ladylike was how she used to suck her teeth, like if she had something in them. It was so annoying, but I couldn't whistle. She used to hate when I whistled. Like It don't matter if you inside or outside. Like she did not want the girls to whistle. It wasn't ladylike, and I hated stockings. Absolutely hated them. So, but my other cousins, they were tomboy girls too, and they lived like right next door to her, and she didn't push those. What's the word? She didn't push those habits on them. You know what I mean? They were able to be wild and be free, and I'm like, but see, when I got around my grandma, I was like, okay, I know not to whistle because she don't like it, and but I don't like when she suck her teeth. So it took, it's just it took a while. When you're small, you just feel like you have to do what grown people tell you to do, or else you're gonna get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And the whistling thing is weird. Like that's such a strange thing to consider unladylike. And similar to what you mentioned, it's almost like the older generation and the generation before us and the generation before them will pick and choose who they want to enforce those kinds of rules and ideals and whatever on. Because, to your point, your cousins who were more tomboyish and a little bit more rough or like to get dirty, whatever, made them classified as tomboys, were able to just exist like that. Whereas you weren't, and it's like, well, what's the difference? And not only that, but why does it even matter in the first place? Why does it matter
right,
whether what's really gonna happen if I whistle? Am I hurting anybody? No.
right,
You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Bless you. I don't understand the purpose. And the worst part, like Jonesy said, walking on eggshells is the worst. Not
mm-hmm,
only that, but we couldn't even ask why.
right.
We weren't allowed to.
Nope.
That was you being smart or disrespectful
Mm-hmm.
or speaking out of turn or what have you. When the reality is, why was a very valid question.
Right.
Why can't I or why do I have to do this?
I mean, that's kids' favorite question. They want to know the why behind the why. Like it is what it is. But us growing up, like we could not ask why. It was a form of disrespect. Like, don't question the adults. You know what I mean? So, and it took for me to realize, like, okay, going to breaking generational habits and curses and whatnot. Like I sometimes when my son constantly asks me why, I'll get irritated. But I'm like, is that because I don't know the answer or because of how I was brought up and we're not being able to ask why? So now I embrace his whys to a certain extent. Like I
Right.
can't break down, I don't know everything, but I'll be like, okay, let's ask Siri. That's my favorite thing now. Let's ask Siri.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, people pleasing, it walking on eggshells, that feeling that you get in your gut, that's how you know you're not doing what's true. It's not true to who you are. Like that's not you being your true self. If you could feel it in your gut, you know, like that's not it.
Akeem is here. Welcome into the chat, Akeem.
Hi, Akeem.
But go ahead, Spuddy Love. What
Um,
was the next point you wanted to share about?
okay. Characteristics of a people pleaser, that's pretty much the same thing. Like being ran over because of fear of losing someone's love.
Mm, right. Right.
Or what else? I already said the like doing things that you truly don't want to do because you don't want them to think that look at you as if you're being selfish.
Right. And there's a part
Um,
of that, like you said, about us feeling very, very attached to this desire to be liked, as if that is the most important aspect of our existence, you know? And it happens more as women, definitely, than as men, because men are typically able to just exist. They're just allowed to exist. Like if a man isn't likable or if he speaks his mind or what have you, from what I've experienced, they'll get away with,
Ayo, DJ.
well, that's just how they are. That's just so and so. That's just his personality, etc. But if a woman moves in the same way, especially a black woman, oh, she's a B, she's a this, she's a that, because essentially she doesn't operate and move around in this world in a way in which everyone agrees with. Because women are supposed to be palatable. We're supposed to be easy to accept. We're supposed to be easy to mold. We're supposed to be, you know, easy on the ears and easy on the eyes. That's just what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to just exist in this way that makes it easy or comfortable for everyone else around us. Jones says, I have a different experience in that personally. Tell us about it, Jones. But go ahead, B, if you wanted to share anything about that and your experience.
Oh, like I was a tomboy growing up. So
Shh.
if but what made me switch is so crazy. I was a tomboy growing up. Like you can always catch me outside playing with the dogs, just being around animals in general. That was me. Softball, all this, you know, rough stuff, climbing trees, like literally, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I started liking like softball and things like that, and my dad coming in and trying to like really force it on me, like he was trying to be my coach, or
Mm,
he wanted for us to go fishing, but it was more of so to show other people, that my daughter go fishing with me, y'all daughter don't go fishing with y'all, they think it's
right.
gross and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, so now you taking the joy away from it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going just to please him and make him happy. I used to do a lot of things with him just to make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
When me and my dad did not have a good relationship like that, but I would still do things to make him happy, thinking, okay, it'll make him change, be a better
Mm-hmm.
person.
Right.
People pleasing to try to get him to change his ways. Like, I used to ride on a motorcycle with him, and he would speed on the motorcycle with me on it,
Mm.
and I will be on the back of the motorcycle just giving him purple nurples like, get me
Mm-hmm.
off of this thing, like stop it right now or else I'm a tuck and roll,
Right.
because you're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of things I used to just do to please him and make him want to be a better father, but it
Mm-hmm.
never worked out, for me. So I just had to, it took me a long time. Like after that, and I was like, if he think it's cool for him to speed with me on the back of a motorcycle with him, like you got to stop trying to please him, because
Right.
nothing is gonna get to that level. So it took for that to happen for me to realize like I can't please everybody. I'm not for everybody. Everybody not for me. It don't matter who
Right.
they are. If they
Mm-hmm.
help bring me in this world or not.
That's true.
I mean, that's how it is. Sometimes we've reincarnated from other people, or we may not
Mm-hmm.
have even liked our parents in the past life, but they couldn't stand us or something. I don't know, but it's like I look like him, but we are nothing alike, and
Yeah.
it's crazy sometimes. I mean, I love him, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the people pleasing stage was real when it came to that man. I wanted him to like me and want to be a better father so bad.
Mm-hmm. I
So
feel it. So Akeem says, I always respect politeness. I feel like me myself should be polite, but I don't need to fit in and feel the need to be reliable anymore. I feel that. I feel that
yeah,
in regards to, like, people shouldn't have to. I mean, I can understand some sort of consistency. Good morning, Fergie. I can understand some sort of consistency. Like, that's typically how we feel safer with people. But we also need to allow people to just exist as they are. And sometimes people perceive us as not being polite when we aren't overtly, bubbly or overtly this, you know what I mean? When in reality, I feel like being polite is really just the deficit of being mean for no reason. Like, I'm not going
mm,
out of my way to go trip people, but I'm just walking down this path, you know what I mean?
right.
Jones says, I
I
have
have
five
five
oh, go
brothers.
ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have five brothers. Growing up, I was the favorite, and my brothers hated it. As I got into my teens, I started to question things and notice patterns. Like my brothers could get away with anything. I had to be good and an example. Oh, yeah. Then as an adult, well, it's been way different. If I say anything wrong, I'm a smartass. I was staying with my grandmother, and anything I said or did against her and my mom was back talking and disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right.
So it's like they put they put that pressure on you to like being the favorite to be good and be an example when you're the middle child. Like, aren't isn't the oldest one supposed to be the good one, or set the example for the younger siblings? I don't understand that, but I feel you on that.
Yeah. It's.
It's like when you become an adult, the parents and the grandparents, they forget that you're grown. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not on the same level. Like, it's not disrespectful when I speak up for myself anymore. Like, I'm adult. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard for them to register that sometimes.
Yeah. And I believe the biggest issue is that you aren't supposed to be an example for anyone at any point in your life until you have your own children.
Exactly.
That's who you're an example for. You're never an example for your siblings because you are also growing up. You are still a child. Even if you reach past the age of adulthood and are, 18, 19, 21, 25, I'm still not an example for my siblings. I am a
Right.
child. I'm an example for myself, and I can do my best to be an example for my children if and when I have them, but that's something that I choose to a certain extent, and it's not fair for any adult of any age to place any child on a pedestal and have such high expectations for them as a child, and it's so difficult because, I have a 9 year old, I have a 6 year old, and I have a 5 month old. And there's parts of me that always kind of look to my 9 year old and think, you should be an example for your 6 year old sibling. But the reality is, no, they shouldn't because they are still a child.
Right.
Regardless of their age, regardless of them being on this planet for 3 whole more years, I'm still working on how to be an example. You know what I mean? Good morning, Raylene. I'm still working
Good
on
morning.
learning how to be an example and learning how to say when I'm frustrated instead of just existing in frustration. You know, to say, wow, this has been a really overwhelming day. I think we should all just take a break. Or I would really appreciate it if we could all just take a break or slow down or have some quiet time or whatever. But I believe that expectation of older children or just a certain child. Sometimes it's the older child, sometimes it's just a child that is unfortunately chosen to be that scapegoat of, you're supposed to act correct and you're unable to make mistakes and you're supposed to do this and move this way and act this way because we chose you to be the example for the rest of the children. And that's not okay at all.
Right. I've never understood that. But like my mom, she had to do it growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I didn't have to do it because like I said, my sister was handicapped and she stayed in a rehabilitation center. But my cousins, like they had to do it. Their parents made them basically raise their siblings. And one of my cousins to this day, she considered her sister like her first child, like her baby. And I'm like, I get it, but I don't understand how parents can continue to have children and then just pass them off to their older children and then get upset or disappointed when their kids have kids at young ages. You know what I mean? Like before they
Mm,
graduate high school or something like that. Well, they already been practicing on being a parent. Like you don't, kind of force that role on them.
yeah.
But Akeem says, I understand the speaking up for oneself. I guess I'm different in a way where I know a person won't change, I'll move away. I've had to exchange myself from my whole family because of that. I have to completely. I had a group of cousins and I was a people pleaser. I wanted them to like me because my sister wasn't at home and I felt like the only child, and I wanted to know what it felt like to be, have a sibling at home. I used to want to be around my cousins because they was around my age, and I would do almost anything for them, right? And all of them just start bullying me. All the ones with siblings will bully me because I was by myself, and it took for me to like, I had to literally, I had to fight one of my cousin's cousins because her and her cousin wanted to jump me. It was this whole thing. And my cousin mom and my mom saw them picking on me and was waiting for me to stand up for myself. And by that time, I had two busted knees before I finally stood up to myself. And I used to watch a lot of wrestling back then, y'all. And I picked her up and I body slammed her on the ground. And when I say that was the best feeling ever, it was like I picked up all my feelings and all my anger and I just threw them on the ground with her. And they went running to our parents and they was laughing by the time we got in there because they was like, we wasn't expecting that, but we proud of you for standing up for yourself, you know what I mean? But they didn't say that. Of course they babysitted their feelings and then
Oh.
told me to the side. But it was funny how like now that I'm older and I look back, I was like, okay, so they was laughing at me because of what I did, proud of me, but still had to babysit, my cousin's feelings because to a certain extent it was extreme, but that was all I knew how to do. Like that was the first thing that came to me and they never picked on me again. So um yeah, my cousins used to pick on me all the time, and I would want to give them everything of mine. Like, here, you can have my toy, my game. Here, you can have my room if they needed to stay with us or something like that. So, people pleasing can be very toxic and unhealthy on your body.
Yeah, and it
Tried
starts
to
so
jump
young.
you? Yes, they tried to jump me. Like
Mm-hmm.
we had rollerblades and they tripped me and made me bust both my knees and they laughed at me. And yeah, I picked the first one that was closest to me up and I slammed on the ground. It was crazy.
People pleasing starts so young too. I can think of so many children. I mean, when I was studying elementary school and kindergarten through sixth grade, even in sixth grade, the whole spectrum from kindergarten to sixth grade, I can think of so many children who came to me and were like frustrated and upset, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's math. Like, it's got to be math. It's always math in school. Like that's the only thing that be taking kids out is math.
I love math.
Same, right? So
Thank you for the
come to
hug,
find
Strong.
out, yes, thank you, love.
And
Come to find
Raylene, thank
out
you.
that they're upset and frustrated because another child won't talk to them, or another
Hmm.
child won't invite them to play, or they're trying to ask a child to play with them and the child says no. And it's just, and I'm saying, like, I can understand kindergarten and first grade because even if children go to preschool, that's typically around the age where they really start to get more peer-to-peer interaction. So they have to learn these things, right? And there's only so much a teacher can do in the way of teaching them and reinforcing to them that not everyone is going to like you and not everyone has to like you, you
Right.
know? But then we also have to remember that teachers are a role model and they're also going by what they see their parents do or how they see their parents behave. So if their parents move in a way that shows, that they want everybody to like them, that they want everybody to perceive them as kind or whatever, whatever, that's how these children are going to move through the world because that's the example that they're seeing. This whole do as I say and not as I do, we know is not a thing. Children are always going to do what they see because how much easier is it to imitate something that you see versus something that you see or you hear somebody say, right? Especially for children who are definitely visual learners because they're so young. If I see, if DJ sees me speaking to Bree, right, or Britt, and Britt's like, oh my goodness, Doni, you're just so frustrating. Like I'm just really upset with you, and I just don't want to talk to you anymore. And I'm like, but wait, let's talk about this. Like I really want to talk to you. Like I don't understand. And instead of me taking what she's saying for what it is, I'm steadily trying to beg and plead and ask her to, trying to get her attention, trying to get the conversation to keep going or whatever, whatever. This is what my child sees, so they're going to perceive this, okay, well, this is how friendships work. Your friend is mad at you, so you beg and plead and do whatever they say because you want them to like you. Well, Donia, if you just, sent me $100, if you just cash at me $1.50, everything will be fine. And I'm like, okay. I'll do whatever you say, Britt. I'll do whatever you say.
Right.
And I cash out her, 150 or whatever. And, now she's like, all right, I guess we're fine for now. Her face still the same. I can tell she's still upset. But, she's using, this, not even this idea. Right, pay for my coffee or else. Really said, not that scenario. I couldn't think of anything. It's pressure. It's pressure. But yeah, if this is what I'm perceiving, this is what I'm witnessing, and it could be a friend to friend relationship, it can be, a mother to father relationship, it could be, a mom to auntie, a dad to uncle, whoever kind of relationship. If this is what I'm witnessing, I'm gonna believe that this is how relationships are supposed to operate. We are supposed to abandon whatever we feel in order to please the other person.
Yeah.
And Spuddy asked in the chat, what is your earliest, what is it, Spuddy? What is your earliest memory of people pleasing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What is your earliest memory of people pleasing? Oopsie. Share in the chat, please. But go ahead, Spuddy, if you want to start us off. What's your earliest memory of people
My
pleasing?
earliest memory of people pleasing. Um, it's gonna go way back to, so like I said, my wanting to be around my cousins and wanting them to like me and be around me. But I think before that, um, there was a friend I had. Um, what I can't even remember what grade we were in, but like I was really sensitive. Like my son is sensitive now. Like I was really sensitive in school, right? So it was like elementary school, and I used to see the special they call it special ed classes or whatever, and like a lot of my classmates would walk by the classes and make fun of the kids in there, and I would I would always cry, and I would never say anything because a lot of people didn't even that I went to school with didn't even know that I have a sister or had a sister, right? So I would never say anything, in their honor or in their defense or whatever, but like I would just not say anything at all. And they'll be like looking at me, after they say something and expect for me to add something to it, but I never would. Like I would
Right.
just be there and just be in tears because in reality, I wish my sister was able to, go to the same school as me, even if she was a special ed. Like I didn't care nothing about that. So it took for me to get in middle school, like I wasn't having it. I was like at school I was a whole nother person than what I was at home. At home I was molded to keep what happened
Mm-hmm.
at home. Oh, Fergie, thank you for the subscription. Look.
Thank you, thank you, Fergie Boo.
But yeah, I was molded to keep what happened at home only and not talk about it with anyone else. And that kind of spilled over into how I was at school. Like I was quiet for a long time. And then when I got in high school and I got my little circle of friends, it was like a vacation from home,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Like I used to look forward to going to school. I don't care if it was raining, snowing, sleeting. I don't care.
Right.
I was out at that bus stop until I was able to drive, which I was able to drive early because I was in band. So
Nice.
that was a plus. But yeah, anything to get out. I wasn't a people pleaser anymore. Well, when it came to my peers.
Mm-hmm.
I put it that way. When it came to my peers, I wasn't people pleasing. But like elders, I don't know why, but you still, like I said, like when you've been molded to stay in a kid's place, you know, it's hard to stand up for yourself to an
Mm-hmm.
adult.
It
So,
is. It is. And Jones said, mine would be how I was told to dress at a new school in second grade. I had to make an impression because if I didn't, I would have no friends.
mm,
Sheesh. Instantly, you are being told that what you wear matters, that other people have to perceive it to be nice. You know what I mean? Because how you know what other people like and don't like? I don't
Right.
even not. Um, Ooh, and then Raylene says, my first memory of people pleasing is a friend not liking me at school, age 8ish, and I would try to offer her things like, oh, you can have my $2 or £2 British, or
Mhm.
I can share my sweets with you. In fact, take them all. And this is during a time my family was extremely low on income. Yeah, two British pounds is at $3. Okay, meant a meal that day. Right, right. So all this time we're trying to, just do whatever we can, and we not only do whatever we can, but give whatever we can,
Mhm.
right? Because we're being taught that us just existing isn't enough. That we
Mhm.
are only valuable to people based on what we can give them and what we can do for them. And oh my goodness, like I said, I mean, y'all are all giving really great examples. Spuddy's example was from a young age. Raylene's example was from a young age. Joan's example was from a young age. And uh, it's just really difficult to come back for that from that, because at some point we have to recognize that we're doing it, and that doesn't often happen, while we're in elementary school or middle school. Minty said, holy crap, this is the stream I needed today. Thank goodness I'm awake right now. Welcome in, Minty.
Welcome in.
Yeah, give way more than we can actually afford. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I would have to say the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to people pleasing for me is always doing my absolute best to keep A's in school. Um, I don't even know what I was expecting from my mom. I just knew that that's what she expected of me. And I don't know, I was hoping for some sort of reward, acknowledgement, something from her. Like that's what it kind of manifested as. But the reality is I just wanted her to tell me that she was proud of me, or
Mm.
like, acknowledge that she loved me in some sort of way. And it felt as if the only way I could get that from her, I mean, this is from like as early as I can remember. I remember being in third grade, like vigorously doing my best to get the highest grade in the class no matter what. And this followed me all the way through high school and even through college. Like in college, I was so fixated on getting A's in every single class. And it wasn't until this degree that I'm doing right now that I realized don't nobody care.
Right.
Nobody cares
As
if
long
you
as you
get
get that diploma, sis.
nobody cares your grades in college. Literally nobody. Like you could get C's, you could get B. Nobody cares because you know what they're gonna ask you. Hey, have you completed your degree?
Mhm.
They're gonna ask you, whatever level it is or whatever. And I'm like, that's it. Nobody's asked. I tell people I have a master's in business administration. Don't nobody ask, what was your GPA, sis? Don't nobody care. Don't
Right.
nobody care.
And I wish I had known this when I started. Like when I was in high school, I wish I would have known this
Mm-hmm.
because like I had so much pressure on me, like being the first in, well, my mom went to college as well, but my dad didn't finish high school because he had to drop out and help his grandma with his
Mm-hmm.
siblings because his mom wasn't around, and it was like so much pressure on me to go straight to a university when I
Right.
wanted to go to a community college first and then go off. And when I left home and went to school, oh my goodness, it was like I don't know, my thought process or people pleasing, it went
Mm-hmm.
from okay, I'm not tolerating anything from nobody to going right back to oh, I need friends.
Yeah.
Oh, like, and then because me and my roommate had got into it because she broke my laptop and she laughed about it. So I was already ready to spaz out, right?
Right.
And I was like, okay, you can't do that, still be nice. And I was like, nope, move me out this room because I'm a
I'm
herder.
finna fight.
But yeah,
I'm ready to
but I
tussle.
still had some friends. They were into some stuff that I wasn't into, and I kind of ended up not being around them anymore. Um, but I was really trying to please my mom so she can say, that I was doing a good job. And
Mm-hmm.
I, meanwhile, it will be days where I will go 48 hours without sleeping
Right.
because I was struggling with math. Math was no longer on paper; it was on a computer, and I didn't know how to use the system. I was getting stuff wrong because of a decimal or, something stupid
Yeah.
like that. And I had to start all the way over. And, it was due like at 11:59 or something like that. So
Right.
you had to get it done.
Right.
But I ended up like, okay, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna just go back home and get my mind together, and then I'll go to community college when I get back and take a break. But that's what I ended up doing. My cousins was so mad because I used to buy all the groceries. Another thing, the people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
My cousins, we all had an apartment together, and I would go home every weekend to check on my mom, right? And when I was home, I would go grocery shopping, and I'll bring all the groceries back. And I also got snacks. Like, you can't just buy nothing but real food. You gotta buy snacks too. We're in college. Hello.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I would put it all out in the kitchen, because I wasn't that tight to keep food in my room because I didn't want anybody to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my cousins, they never cooked the real food. They only ate all of the snacks. And then when they finally got their money from school, they asked me if I wanted to help decorate the apartment. And I was like, y'all ate up all my food. And you
Mm-hmm.
want to ask me if I care about decorating this apartment? Like,
Right.
and for a long time, I kept buying food, and I was like, no, you stop doing it
Right.
because they're not eating the real food. They're not cooking. I will be the only one cooking and the only one washing dishes. They will let the
Mm-hmm.
sink pile up. And I was like, okay, we don't need their approval. Yeah, we
Right.
live together. That's the only thing that got me. Like, we live together. I don't want to live in filth. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, wash the damn dishes,
Right.
cook,
Right.
put it up, so it won't spoil. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I ask. But no,
Spuddy, when you were talking about, or Brit, Bretty,
she
Bretty, Bretty. Wow, Spuddy, Brit. I gotta pick one. I keep going back and
pick
forth between
one,
the two.
choose
Right?
one.
I gotta pick one. Brit. When you were talking about, the people pleasing tendencies kind of being reignited when you got to college, it made me think of like college orientation. Right? They have
Mhm,
these conversations with you about building relationships,
mhm,
and if you already have come from a place where building relationships to you meant doing whatever whatever it takes to fit in instead of being yourself, and naturally the people who are aligned with you or who have the same interests will just kind of gravitate to you,
mhm,
then that's why, or for me too, why going to college kind of reignited that whole people pleasing thing, because now I'm like, okay, now I have to forcefully build relationships. Now I have to forcefully do whatever I can to create some sort of community in a situation in which I feel kind of othered at because I'm new. And granted, there's literally a whole, almost, I don't know, generation basically of new students because you're not the only freshman on campus.
right.
But yeah, like you're working on recovery, and then all of a sudden you get hit with this dose of reality and uncertainty, and that uncertainty and your fear of going through things alone pushes you back
I was
into
trying to,
those people pleasing tendencies. Go ahead and
yeah,
read what Fergie shared.
yeah, I was trying to catch up. Missy said she loved computer math. Not me, sis.
Love it.
Not me. Fergie said mine was when I was in first grade. I got pushed up out of kindergarten because of being ahead. I was
Mm.
bullied in my first grade class because of being from a different class. When I told my parents about it, they told me, well, just try and make them laugh, pretend to be like them, and you will fit in. Needless to say, hold on. Needless to say, it stopped the bullying, but it caused me to shelter myself from who I really was.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
See, my parents never, they answer was, beat their ass. Sorry. But like, and I was like, but I don't want to do it because I held a lot of anger in, and I was always scared that if I ever got to fight with somebody, like I would really hurt them. And then that's another look, that's a charge. It's gonna be on my on my record. And I'm like, I
Ah,
don't want my parents to go to jail or me to go to jail.
right,
So but yeah, that was their answer for everything. But they had other siblings and they was used to fighting their siblings out, getting to
right,
fighting for their siblings or with their siblings. They was used to that. But me, I wasn't. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Um, Raylene said, I felt that's so hard. Literally, my brother and dad are just like that. I do all the stuff in the house and I just want the house normally tidy.
right,
Right.
right, right. And I feel like being on this platform and with all of our other lovely streamers in the chat, because Minty's a streamer, Fergie's a streamer, Britt's a streamer, I'm a streamer, Jones is a streamer. We can't talk about people pleasing without the fact that we've all had to make our way through that here on Twitch,
Oh yeah.
especially on this platform where people are having literal bikini hot tub parties. People are just throwing subscriptions their way, literally, and
I
these
mean,
people, women, are just existing in
that's it.
a bathtub, hot tub, party, whatever. Not only
Blow up
that,
pool. I done
right,
saw so much.
not only that, but we already have to make ourselves really, really known as black streamers,
Hmm.
whether we can or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's already something that we have to fight every single day. Right, Jones said, yeah, let me get the hot. Jones, you
Okay.
got a hot tub? Got a hot tub in that
He
room?
mean he mean let him go and buy that blow up pool.
Right. But that's something that we have to fight regularly, right? Like Minty said, let's go.
Let's go.
Minty always down. I know it. But this is something that we have to fight against regularly. Like, we really have to make a commitment to ourselves and
Hmm.
say, you know what? This platform and the financial support that it could provide for me is not worth my self respect. It's not worth me going out and not acting like myself. It's not worth me doing all this extra stuff just to be liked or just to get views or just to get subscriptions. Like,
Hmm.
I'm a firm believer in your people finding you when they're supposed to find you. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why I love having these conversations, especially with people like Britt, because, we have found each other as a tribe, and it
Yes.
wasn't expected, it wasn't planned, it just happened, and it happened really naturally, and we've been able to build and cultivate a relationship based on the things that we like as people. Love
Right.
before subs, exactly. Love before subs.
Yes.
Um, it wasn't because we were coming off as fake and then had a conversation with each other and it was like, oh, you don't really like that, do you? You just doing this,
Exactly.
yeah, you just doing this just because. Like, it would be like, I don't know. It would be like me. I can't think of a game that's like super, super popular. Oh, I could think. Okay, so here's a really, really good example. So my husband is a producer, right? And
Hmm.
sometimes he gets on Twitch and he does DJ sets, right? So he's literally sitting here, his camera's in front of him. He's like not even looking at the dang chat because he's got his. We only have one screen. Long story short, he's just in there. He's doing his jam. It sounds amazing. He's getting down, right? Then they have these women, and what I'm wearing today is perfect, right? So they have these women that are in there, and they in there with the crop tops, and they're just like doing the thing, and they're like
Yeah.
giving bosom. Look at with the baby, they giving bosom, and they're doing stuff on the DJ board, right? But it is very simple. It's not complex at all. But because they're women and they're cute, people are in
Hmm.
there. People are in there subbing. People are in there doing all this kind of stuff, and you know, he's told me like how frustrating it is to be a DJ and try to be on this platform and literally just have people hear you. Like, he's not looking for the financial whatever. He just wants
Right.
people to be in there and just hear what he has to do. He wants to show off. I mean, that's what we
Right.
all want to do.
Share his
Um,
gift.
yeah, exactly. And to be kind of like not necessarily gate kept, but to know that there's people on this platform who are just like genuinely not talented, like not doing anything.
At all.
Yeah, not
Don't
doing
have.
anything special, not doing anything fancy. They just look cute. They just appeal into the eye. I mean, it goes both ways for men and women. Um,
Hmm.
Jones said, I feel like they can do that, but it's other platforms for that. Exactly. Twitch was supposed to
Yeah.
be purely gaming and chatting. Now it's make us money. Exactly. Oh,
Oh, baby boy.
what happened? Why the chaos?
So, um, Next, we're going to talk about ways to overcome your need to please. So, what do you think are some ways to help overcome your need to please?
Ooh. First and foremost, I mean, for everything is awareness. Just
Mm-hmm.
coming into awareness that you're even moving differently around a certain person or moving differently when you want something from a certain person. Acknowledging that it's not the relationship that you want to cultivate, it's just the fact that you want them to like you. Acknowledging that relationships have ups and downs, there's duality to relationships, and thinking to yourself, like, I mean, honestly, taking inventory of your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been situations in which this person has been upset or disappointed in me and I've just let them? Or do I do whatever I can and go out of my way to make sure that I don't ever feel that that person is upset or disappointed in me? Because that should happen naturally in a regular relationship. It should happen. Oh,
Right.
hold on, real quick. Raylene put something in the chat.
Ooh, wait.
Raylene says, oops, I have another streamer friend, so doesn't want to do hot tub streams, but she can't find any other work. She has a lot of mental stuff, and it's horrible watching her feel forced to do that. And she hasn't done it, but the fact that as women, that's always a looming option for us is terrible. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely feel that. And again, it's like because we know that sex sells. You know what I mean? Sex absolutely
Yep.
sells, and we can have a whole conversation about that too. Joan says, "Yep, that's how it begins. I hate that's a thing for anyone. You shouldn't ever feel forced to do something because it's a trend." Exactly. Oh, Minty DJ's my son. He's over here, but he in his underwear. So, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I would say, Britt, to answer your question, the very first step for me would be coming into some awareness and taking self inventory. Shh. Taking self inventory of my relationships and asking those kinds of questions, like, has this person ever been upset with me, and if so, how did I handle that? Did I go out of my way and do whatever they asked me to, do whatever they wanted? Excuse me, go have a seat, please. Or did we have a conversation? They were disappointed, I was disappointed, I was frustrated, they were frustrated. You know what I mean? We came to
Mm-hmm.
some sort of terms, but there was communication between both of us, not just me doing whatever I needed to do in order to make them feel better.
Right. For me, I feel like some ways to overcome your need to please is to remember that your needs, your wants are just as important as theirs,
Right.
if not more important. Because if you're not 100%, how you going to give to somebody else, whether you like them or not? You know what I mean? Even if it's at work, you can't do your job at 100% if you're not happy or if you're not full,
Right.
and to surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are. Like you said, how we met, it wasn't forced. Like I was 100%
Mm-hmm.
authentically me, and you were the same, and that's how we was like, oh, okay. So and that's how it's been for me as late as when I decided that I'm gonna start speaking up for myself, how I speak up for my son. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have absolutely no problem speaking up for him, but when it came to myself, I was a little hesitant because the people pleasing ways that I was brought up around or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I start changing those things and start cutting people off and only surrounding myself with positive people and positive energy, like my circles started, I'm not gonna say started to grow, but it started to be replaced with people more like me that accepted, me for who I am.
Right.
um Boundaries. Set boundaries, that's how you can
Hashtag
overcome.
boundaries.
Look, hashtag boundaries,
Right.
yes.
Right.
We talked about that in another stream, but
Yes.
was that Limitless? Hi,
I think
welcome
so.
in.
Welcome in,
um
Limitless.
um I said this earlier, you're not for everybody. You have to
Mm-hmm.
remember that you're not for everybody and everybody is not going to be for you.
And that's
So
okay. It's
it
okay,
that is
sis.
perfectly fine because you don't want everybody to be for you, okay?
How many
Some
people on this
people come with
planet?
a lot. Yeah, some people come with a lot of baggage, okay?
Right.
Look, dodge as many bullets as you can,
Yeah.
okay? We're not just sitting there because we got on a bulletproof vest just taking them. You know, we not doing that.
Not dodging bullets. Not us really acting like we dodging bullets.
Yes, dodging little bullets. No, that's them sitting there taking the bullets
Oh
because
yeah,
they
yeah,
got
yeah.
on the
You're right.
bulletproof vest. But no, we not doing that. No, dodge as
And you
many
know
bullets
what?
as you can.
Not only are those bullets people, but those bullets happen to be those expectations. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just like Britt was talking about earlier, what's ladylike and what a lady should do. You know, a lady shouldn't sit with her legs open. A lady
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't climb trees. A lady shouldn't lift weights. A lady shouldn't share how she really feels. A lady should be
Right.
polite 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even going to get into how that
Knowing how
plays
to
into,
cook.
we're not even going to get into, how that plays out as far as the, not duality, but the perceived relationship between women and men. You know what I mean? We're just talking about overall in general these perceptions that women have, or that these perceptions and expectations that people have for women. And then you have black women.
Mm-hmm.
Black women should wear their hair naturally.
Yeah.
Black women's hair should be manageable. Black women shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
wear wigs. Black women shouldn't wear weaves. Black women shouldn't be so angry.
Yeah.
They didn't say hi to me.
No, they didn't. Raylene said, it's just how you deal with people not liking you. Exactly. Not the
Mm-hmm.
Matrix bullet avoidance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
go nowhere because I'm in a chair.
Slow mo. And I think the
Is
last
a
thing that I
robot?
have as a tip
Is
to
that
help
oh
overcome your need to please will
Hmm.
be to accept that you can't control what people think about you. Like you
Yeah.
can't control it. Everybody have their opinions. They're entitled to their own opinions.
Hmm.
And we not mind readers. We ain't trying to see how they really feel about us no way. You
Right.
know?
Because it don't
So
matter. Because no matter
it
who
don't
you
matter.
are or what you do, somebody ain't going to like it.
Somebody ain't gonna
I
like
mean,
it.
tons of people. I need one of y'all to hop on Google in the chat and tell me how many people are on this planet. Just real quick. Just tell me the
Oof.
population. Because we need to know. Because I think putting that into perspective really helps. And again, I know that a lot of us can attest to not really even truly finding our tribe until we were down to just unmask, and just be who we are. To be the people who love anime, or to be the people who, I don't know, like watching car crash videos. That's kind of extreme. But you know what I mean? Like, just be yourself. You're going to find who you need to find. Um,
Ooh.
ooh, the prep for marriage, Jones. Men don't like this.
Mm.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Okay, B, what's your next point? We're going to get lost on
uh,
tangents.
I know. Let me see. To answer your question, it says about 8 billion people, like now
There you
today.
go.
Um, Last point is reminders for people pleasers. Like, um, remember that people pleasers are easily manipulated,
Mm.
bullied. You know. Um, what's something else? Always less draining to just say no.
Not
Like
initially, but yes, over time.
over time, yeah.
Yes.
For well, yeah, over time,
Because
because it was hard for me to say no for a long time.
initially you left with all the thoughts.
Hmm.
Like Raylene just asked, how do you deal with it though? Like when people say don't take it
Yeah,
personal, like how?
right. I
What are
mean,
the steps?
that's some. It's a process you have to deal. You have to go through the feelings. That's
Yes.
the next step. You have to go through the
You
feelings.
have to go through the feelings.
Like you remember we talked about that first. Like
Hmm.
crying. What does healing look like? Crying a
Right.
lot. You know,
Absolutely.
being mad, being sad, being happy. Like you're gonna go through all of literally all of the emotions that they told us. In the little book of emotions with the smiley faces, you're gonna go through each one of those. That's what healing
Yo, we
look
should
like.
bring that up real quick. I think we need to talk about emotions, like just the full spectrum, because I feel like so many people always, or so many people only know like three emotions. Like you happy, sad, or you mad, and that's it.
Uh huh.
There's
No,
so many different ones.
so many.
Joan said this sound like me in my Twitch chat. Raylene said I'm in my no era, and it hurts
Mm,
so bad.
I
I
know,
feel
and
so
it's
guilty,
okay.
but it's slowly getting better.
Okay. Hmm.
It's slowly getting better. What are those? Emotion. Oh no. Oh
Who don't know what
no.
emotions are?
Jones.
He know what emotions are.
Right.
Uh,
Emotion stream will be like 78 hours.
It would. It really would.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. 5 day
Remember to
stream
stay
on
true
deck.
to yourself and stand up for you, and
Yeah.
people will start to respect you.
Yes.
Like, and if they don't, middle finger.
Right.
Look, I was about to do it, but I can't. Little middle finger.
Oh
Uh,
my goodness. And it, like it's just like Britt just mentioned, all of these things are intertwined. Like you can't talk about unlearning people pleasing without talking about boundaries. You
right.
can't talk about unlearning people pleasing without talking about naming and feeling your emotions. Like all of these things are intertwined. They're always going to be intertwined. And even though we can have a conversation about boundaries, there's always going to be other things that are interconnected with it. Like it's just the way it is. We can't do nothing about that. But that's the reason why healing doesn't look like this. It looks like this. You know what I mean? It's not a straight line. It will never be linear. It's always going to be all over the place because let's say you get super bomb at, saying no. Let's say you get super bomb at acknowledging like, "Oh my goodness, this relationship does not serve me at all because I've been trying to please this person." Well,
Hmm.
now you got to move on to placing boundaries
Yep.
because now you have to go from saying yes to this person all the time to saying no, and that's a whole. You know what I mean? That's a whole.
And then that the emotions come in, and it's okay to feel them.
Exactly.
Like, say no and then cry about it later. I promise. Like,
Yes.
it's a cycle. You have to go through it.
Say
Like,
no and
it's
cry
okay
about
for
it later.
your yes,
That's
it's
going on a
okay for
shirt.
your feelings to
It's
be
going
hurt.
on a shirt.
Say no and cry about it later. That's a good one. That is a great one. But
Go have a seat, buddy.
yeah, you are not responsible for other people's emotions, only your own.
Yep. Adults can stand and handle being disappointed, and
Yep.
if they can't, it's not your problem.
Let them go through their own emotions. You go through yours. We're not worrying about
Right.
their emotions. You
Exactly.
go through your emotions.
No one prepared me for the say no emotions though. Right. The clickbait for me. The saying no emotions are new. I mean, they're emotions that we felt before, but they're just being triggered by other things. Like we felt guilt before for
Hmm.
other reasons other than saying no. Like we probably even felt guilty for like physically not being able to do something because we're sick, or physically not being able to do something because geographically we're not in a good location. Like if we're out on vacation at the Grand Canyon and someone asks you to come to their very first art show, you're gonna feel guilty, but you literally can't go. You know, so we felt those emotions before, but when we say no and then we feel that emotion of guilt, it feels a lot more personal because it feels like it's so easy to fix it, right? Like all I gotta do to not feel guilty is just say yes, or the
Yeah.
people pleasing stuff. All I gotta do to not feel this way or to save this relationship is to just say yes or to do whatever they want me to do. But like Britt said, say no now and cry about it later. But we really have to place our needs above everyone else's. And that's not to say in like a malicious way, but no one else can care for our needs other than us.
Yeah.
We're the only person that can take care of us. And so because of that reason, we have to put our needs up first. We have to.
Right. And selfish is not a cursing word. It's not negative. Like, we have been taught, being being selfish is bad, or, it you're not supposed to be selfish. No. It's perfectly okay. It's normal to be selfish. It's healthier to be selfish sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's another thing we have to remember.
Yeah,
Like, it's okay to be selfish.
that's true. A lot of this stuff really stems from the instant gratification, that we are really,
Hmm.
really used to in our society. So, like me saying yes to, Cash App and Brit $1.50, I get that instant gratification of, all right, our friendship is saved,
Yeah.
but delayed gratification, we could have a whole chat about that. Delayed
Hmm.
gratification is really what helps to support us long term to have, healthier boundaries, healthier relationships, etc., etc. Like being able to wait for something, being able to say no now, maybe yes later, or whatever, whatever.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, Joan says selfish. Now that's a word. I'm saying we gon' look. We got our our next
You got your
topic.
Doya mug. Yay. Raylene
You
got her
did?
mug.
Yes. Oh my god! Why was I gonna tell us to show it to us? Like that was the thing. I was
I
gonna say
know,
show it
right?
to us,
Look, I
right?
know. Oh
I
man.
love it. Okay, so just to let y'all know, I mean I can't get up right now because baby just fell asleep. But y'all saw my shirt earlier. But Raylene got this mug. Ooh, not it disappearing with the background. It says "Choose you before life starts life," but she got it in white. So I offer it in white and I offer it in black. Thank you, Spuddy, for linking my shop. And then also I forgot to copy and paste the oopsie the
The
link
discount
today.
code.
Yeah, it's B Day 2023. Yesterday was my birthday. I attempted to do a 12-hour stream, failed, but I'll be back today. Don't you worry. We're gonna do a 12-hour stream today if my life depends on it. Okay, I'm gonna be eating pizza all day long. But yes, B Day 2023. Use that discount code in my Etsy shop for 10% off up until Sunday, January 8th. Also, all the items in my Etsy shop right now are only going to be available until January 31st, and then I'm clearing out and I'm putting in new inventory. So, if you see something now, there we go. Oh, B Day Boo Boo.
Wait.
BDAY.
Oh, B.
But I appreciate
No.
you.
Look, I know. Now we putting BD.
um,
Scratch that, y'all.
yes, I appreciate you so much. But yeah, um, delayed gratification. Look, we got a whole, I got to start writing these things down.
Wait, what?
These, baby daddies all 2020.
2023.
No, Joe, that's not what BD said.
Wait.
Yo, y'all see my?
This.
Yo, it's
See my?
2023.
Yes. Look at them guns.
That's why I love this shirt. This is the crop. Okay, if y'all go on my shop and you see the crop, this is it. This is the workout top. Look, for men and women. Okay, you're trying to get them pecs and them deltoids and them triceps and biceps popping. Not me shaking. I did a little workout this morning. Okay, y'all. I did like 24 push-ups. So
Yes.
if
Let's
you
go.
trying to get some, get
Look,
some.
let me do my squats and my lounges all the way in here to get my corn dogs out the air fryer
Look,
and all the way
look,
back.
look. I gotta get mine. Whole 24. Love it. Yes. Because like right after I had this baby, I tried to do a push up. I was like, when did I get so
Oh,
heavy? When did the world get so rough? Who turned on the gravity? It was a lot. It was a lot. Okay, we're totally getting off topic.
I know.
We're gonna wrap it up because we are hitting that 1 hour mark. But Britt and I will be back next Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. Wrap us up, Britt. Wrap us up.
Okay, hold on. Let me read what Raylene said. OMG. I also did yoga yesterday because you reminded me of how good it was. Yes, I did it last night because she reminds me so much. And I'm like, I need it in my life.
Yes. That's a
Need it
heart.
in my
Can you
life.
see it? That's a heart right there. It's a heart for yoga love. DJ, hold on, buddy. Hold on.
um, okay, so yes, again, to wrap up, we talked about people pleasing today and how to overcome it. And remember, selfish is not a cursing word, it's not bad. Set boundaries. What else? I forgot. Like I just had a whole,
Right, a whole
like
list.
a whole no, like a whole list of thoughts of what I need to do as a mommy just came into my
Oh
brain.
no, the mom brain.
The
The mom
mom
brain is
brain.
up close and center. Okay, so we talked about people pleasing. We talked about how to acknowledge yourself as a people pleaser, how
Yes.
to recover from people pleasing.
Yes.
We mentioned coming into awareness. We mentioned evaluating relationships. We mentioned putting yourself first and your needs first because you
Mm-hmm.
got to do it. And again, like Bray said, that's not selfish. Who gonna take care of you if you don't take care of you? You know what I
Right.
mean? And also be aware that in healing any of these different aspects of yourself, everything else is going to be intertwined. So if you set out with the intention to heal your people pleasing tendencies, you're going to have to learn how to say no. You're going to have to learn how to set and enforce boundaries.
And it's
You,
okay to say no and cry about it. But look,
exactly.
make that no sound
Yes.
believable.
Yes.
It don't even have to sound believable. It could be a little weak, puny
No.
no. No.
No. You can sound like a
Make things
question.
no,
No.
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 And go cry about it later. But look, we trying to surround ourselves with people that like us for who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself. Be true to you.
Be
We
your
we
weird
don't
self.
we don't need to be around any bullies. Cause basically, when you people please and those people know that you are weak and easily Like seriously, they can smell that, you're easily influenced.
It's true.
So
It's true.
yeah.
Absolutely. And really said nar.
No.
But yeah, be your weird self. Be your whole weird self. I absolutely guarantee. And then not only be your weird self, but put it on social media. Put your weird stuff on social media because
Mhm.
the more people who know that you're weird, the more weird people are gonna connect with you. Okay,
Yep.
unique, weird, strange, whatever kind of adjective you want to put on it. Just be yourself. Um, all of you that have been here in the chat, I love you so much. Right, Minty said be weird.
Weird.
Um, I'm not gonna say what Minty did with that cupcake because I'm trying to keep it semi PG, but Minty was weird with a cupcake the other night, and people love her. We love her. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on, DJ. I'm almost done. Anywho, thank you all for being in this Twitch stream. Define weird because some people got that down too far. Anyways, thank you for being in this Twitch stream. I appreciate you all for being in the chat. I love you all so much.
And
I'll
me
be
too.
back in maybe like an hour or two. DJ, sit down. Goodness
And
gracious.
I'll be on stream tonight. Um, but I do have yes, I'll be back on stream tonight, and then I'll tell y'all my announcement on my stream. But
Okay. I
thank
was
y'all so
like,
much
she
for
got a
being here. Thank y'all
all.
for participating in the chat and answering our questions. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next Friday.
Yes. And if you're catching this stream on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. If you
Mhm.
are interested in contacting or working with Coach Britt, all of her contact information will be in the description of the YouTube video. We love you. And Britt, you ain't got to leave, but I'm finna end this stream. So yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit,
Thank you,
but
Minty.
we'll be back next Friday. Bye.